Bitcoin, is it a trap or is it freedom? Now, that choice is up to us. In this short little video, I'm going to show you why that's true. But first, we have to look at one of the first traps that's been set for all of us from the very beginning. And although it might seem like a conspiracy theory for some, by the end, it all makes sense. Check it out.
Will not only save Teldar paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA. Thank you very much.
The promise of America at the outset was one of freedom. And for a short while, that whole freedom reigned true. And within our Constitution lies remnants of that freedom. But the thing of it is, that all disappeared when it became a corporation. Now, we went from all being citizens to being assets owned by a corporation, the American corporation. If you think about the internet in the early days, what it promised was the freedom, and it gave it in spades. But through the morphing of technology and different systems, it has become a trap, a way to track us and to basically control us. Now, this is the popular internet. We're not talking about the dark web or anything like that. We're talking about the popular internet. So that internet itself has been morphed, and as it's morphed, our freedoms have disappeared. Now, I'm going to give you another example, which isn't as popularly known. The interstate across America is free. We pay for it through taxes, but when you drive on it, you're not paying for it at the moment of usage. But that's all changed. Now with Easy Pass, which is mainly an East Coast thing and morphed to the Midwest, slowly, through the use of Easy Pass and other payment systems, we have actually been paying for our own tracking. It's all under the guise of basically, okay, we'll take care of these roads for you. The roads aren't any better, and yet what you're getting is tracking of every car that goes by. And on top of it, for all the money, few corporations who have outlets at these little service centers. They're not exits, they're much more convenient, and you're going to go there instead of going off the exit, going through Easy Pay again, and going down the exit a little bit, and having your thing, and then getting back on. People just want to have something to eat, get some coffee, keep on going. And these service areas do that. But in the process, they basically funneled all the money to these few corporations. And on top of it, they've jacked up the price. So if you haven't gotten it, the crux of it is there's a promise of freedom. And that promise is fulfilled early on, especially for early adopters of any new technology. That promise of freedom is truly there. Once it's become to this tipping point of popular adoption, what happens is a morphing of that technology, or there might even be laws put into place that make that promise of freedom become a trap. It becomes something where the very thing that you thought gave you freedom, your phone, the internet, the highway, actually enslaves you through the morphing of laws and technology.
Illusion has become real, and the more real it becomes, the more desperate they want it. Capitalism at its finest.
Now with Bitcoin, right now, the promise of freedom is very real.
And what Bitcoin insiders have spoken to me about is that they're excited about moving people from this government wallet, which is custodial, to their own wallet where they hold the private key and they have 100% ownership over their wealth. And that's something that a lot of these people haven't experienced before. And I think that that's what they're most excited about.
Countries are getting involved and their citizens are getting more leverage and more freedom from this early adoption. This early adoption is freedom. It goes against the fiat system, the banking system that is there, because there is finally the ownership of money without the middleman involved.
And there's just no stopping human ingenuity, the human drive for freedom. We don't need somebody in the middle trying to regulate every single thing that only creates complications, that creates bottlenecks, captures information that becomes safety issues. We don't need that. Why can't somebody just do a job, get paid, and go spend money?
Now, post-popular adoption, all this will change, but it won't be overnight. There will be slow morphing of technology and laws that come into play. This is all by design.
And that's the goal. Get rid of the old system that's bankrupt and insolvent create a hyperinflationary event wealth transfer to themselves. I mean, this is what happens time immemorial throughout history. Just a wealth transfer, that's all it is. So understand and trust that plan, and understand the people in power are in control of this transition over. Now,
before all this happens, it's up to us. There'll be small little incremental changes. It's like the frog that's, of course, boiling in water. You don't just put them in hot water, you put them in cold water and slowly increase the heat. The same thing happens with this technology. Bitcoin will, right now, it's freedom. It's that cold water. But as things move along, there'll be little tiny changes. You won't really notice unless you're really paying attention. And those will morph so that when there's all the popular adoption, there'll be mechanisms in place that just have to be kind of turned on, tweaked, and increased to basically turn that freedom into slavery. There are large banking cartels who don't want this to succeed, and in some cases already have the hand on the whole mechanism, making it seem like they're against it when they're actually for it. How this all plays out, according to them, is that they'll still have the control they always have. But if we play our cards right as a collective, we can actually flip that so that we still keep the control. They have their playbook. We've seen it before, where the freedom promised is actually taken away through technology and laws. So let's band together and let's make sure that Bitcoin equals freedom, not just for the short-term early adopters, but for the long term. Because remember, although we may be free on paper, unless you practice that freedom, it actually can disappear. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.